Here's my audience. Okay, have you ever thought about milk and that we are the only species that drinks another mammal's milk? So just think about that for a minute. I will start with a personal story. I stopped eating dairy a couple years ago to help my skin clear up, and it was amazing how well it worked. It was very hard to give up dairy, and it took some time, but my skin looks great and I also feel better. According to Iva Keen and Physician Committee, 30 to 50 million Americans are lactose intolerant. When we are 2 or 3 years old, we stop making lactase, which is the enzyme that breaks down lactose, which is the sugar in dairy. So when you choose to eat dairy and you are lactose intolerant, your digestive tract becomes inflamed, and extra mucus is then produced, which prevents other nutrients from being absorbed. And extra mucus also builds up in your nose, your lungs, and your reproductive system. Not only does dairy prevent other nutrients from being absorbed, but it can cause other problems in your body like allergies, or people choosing to eat dairy-free because of other problems in their body, or just because it's their preference to not eat dairy. So today, I would like you to choose to try being dairy-free because it's great for your body, and there are many great options for food that does not include dairy, but it includes the correct nutrients. So first, I will discuss what research says about why dairy is good for your body. So according to Williams and the USDA, not taking in enough dairy can cause osteoporosis, obesity, hypertension, and cancer. And according to Dairy Nutrition, milk is said to be one of the causes of acne, but there is not enough scientific evidence to prove that dairy specifically causes acne. So now, what does research say about why that yummy cheese pizza is not good for your body? Because according to Iva Keen and Heather McLeese, you probably are addicted to cheese. Cheese and milk contain a natural morphine, which comes from the protein in dairy called casein, which is why calves go back to the mother to get more milk, because they are addicted to the milk because of that natural morphine in the milk. It makes them feel good. That is why we love eating cheese and milk, because it makes us feel good. So if we want to quit eating dairy, it takes us about 21 days to break the habit. So what else does dairy do to your body? According to Iva Keen and Melnick, it can cause acne, which is a big concern for teens and young adults, and it was once a problem for me. And dairy, specifically skim milk, has an insulin growth hormone added to it, which causes extra testosterone in the body and extra androgens, which are the main factor of acne. And the excess androgens also cause polycystic ovarian syndrome. And according to Iva Keen and Physicians Committee, cancer is also linked to consuming dairy products like prostate cancer, breast cancer, and ovarian cancer. All right, next I will talk about the food options. According to Williams and Grace, the right amount of nutrients that comes from dairy products, so the food that you can choose from dairy is milk, cheese, yogurt, butter, and ice cream, and so on. And second, what kind of options are there for food that do not contain dairy but contain the right nutrients? According to Eating Well and Iva Keen, you can get enough calcium, protein, and vitamin D from other sources. Sources for vitamin D include fortified soy milk, fortified almond milk, and fortified coconut milk. Sources for protein include meat, poultry, fish, eggs, and nuts. And according to Eating Well and Iva Keen, Sources for calcium, this is kind of a large list. There's lots of different options you can choose for calcium. They include whole wheat bread, vegetable juice, collard greens, potatoes, kale, broccoli, figs, seaweed, beets, dandelion, which isn't typically one we eat, turnip greens, parsley, watercress, spinach, sesame seeds, tahini, almonds, Brazil nuts, tofu, ripe olives, cooked soya beans, salmon, and sardines. And there are also some other great dairy-free options like yogurt. And there's one brand in specific that I really like to eat. It's called So Delicious. And it's a coconut milk-based yogurt. And I think it's actually a lot better than some of the other yogurts. And I actually brought it. And it looks like that. And you can buy that at Walmart, or Hornbacher's in Fargo actually has So Delicious. And then there's another one of my favorites, and it's a dairy-free cheese. And that one you can buy at Natural Grocers in Fargo as well. And that one looks like there's a few different options that you can choose. And it takes a little while to get used to the flavor of it. It's a little bit different, but it is really good. And the pricing too is about the same as normal cheese. So there are some really great options for dairy-free food, and other options like ice cream too they have. So in conclusion, there are lots of research saying dairy is good for you and that it is not good for you, and that the right nutrients only come from dairy, or there are actually foods that the right nutrients that are not in dairy. But today I'm hoping you can choose to try and go dairy-free and see how you feel. It will be hard for the first few weeks, but then you feel great. And you learn how to make some really good home-cooked meals. And then here's my audience again.